I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money. So I got a $2 tip from someone. Now I've heard about this, but I don't think it's actually what people think it is. Okay. So there's a $2 tip from someone. And they said, did you hear that YouTube has a new policy that they are bringing into effect basically within a couple days? This new policy is now going to prevent unoriginal content from being monetized. Content ripped from streams without proper transformative edits, restreams, raw out of context clips. Word on the grapevine is that many detractors are in a sheer panic, and rumor has it that one of them is actually paying a mortgage with the detractor and restreaming content money and is in a full-blown panic right now. Things are looking good. Do you have any thoughts? Well, here's the thing. When this was first announced, people were actually saying, oh, is this a direct response to the H3 lawsuits where Ethan Klein is suing several streamers for basically replaying his own content without permission, which is a violation of copyright law. It does not, substitute or constitute fair use. And is that what's happening, that YouTube is saying, oh, well, we should be in line with this now. We're going to actually start doing it. No. And in fact, what happened is YouTube has responded to this story saying, we're not changing anything. I'm serious. Oh, we already had this process in effect. It's already been in effect all along. That's what they said. That was their response. And everyone's reading it like, but you don't enforce it. What are you talking about? So the question is there actually going to be an actual change? Because YouTube literally responded to the story saying, no, we're actually not changing anything. This has already been in our policy all along. But could that be corpo speak saying, oh, actually, you shouldn't have been doing these things all along, and now we're finally going to enforce them? The way I see it, excuse me, I'll believe it when I see it. So let's see what happens. All right. When this happens, if it goes into effect, whenever it is, I think it's a few days, right? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen is people are going to start mass flagging stuff. All right. They are. It's not going to be me, because you know me, I don't bother with any of this shit, but people will start mass flagging people who are these clippers, these restreamers, these re-uploaders. It's just going to happen. And then basically it's going to test the waters. Are these people going to survive, or all of a sudden will their channels completely be demonetized, right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but I'm not going to be involved in it. My job is to be right here making content for you every day, positive content. I just don't bother with this shit. I'm too busy with my own life. So something might happen, something might not. To be frank, I probably have one of the best legal cases of anyone on the internet to sue people for actually stealing my content. For the people who live restream me every day, which is 100% blatantly illegal, and you cannot do it under any circumstance, that's out. And anyone who raw rips my content and just re-uploads it, that's out. It always has been. It's just that I've never actually exercised my legal right to do anything about it. It's too expensive. It's too time consuming. I would have to go get a lawyer. I would have to slap people with cease and desists and lawsuits. And it's just not my style. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play games and have a good time and make a living doing it. Now, if anything ever happened where I couldn't do that, like, for example, if all of a sudden I couldn't make a living doing it anymore because these idiots were actually stealing all my profits and I wasn't getting crowdfunding, then they'd be in hot water because I'd have nothing better to do. Get it? But the good news is I'm doing well for myself, so I don't waste my time on that shit. Okay? So, let's see what happens. But I'm not too into it. I don't really care. I'd rather see what happens with others first. Like I said, the whole H3 lawsuit thing is kind of interesting. I want to see how that progresses. And we'll see if anyone actually gets slapped with anything as a result of this policy change or not, and we'll go from there. But I'm not sweating it. I'm not caring about it. To me, it's just business as usual. Okay. I got a $1.50 tip. What is my opinion on the Star Wars Disney sequels? Do you see them as canon? I mean, I don't think, to be honest here, okay? I don't think that, hold on. I don't think that it matters what I think. What matters is who owns the property and what they say. Disney owns Star Wars, and they say that the sequel trilogy is canon, so it's canon, right? I don't determine what's canon or not. I could try to deny it. I don't know. Do I even address it? Like, do I even bother? It sounds like the guy's high or something. I don't know. Listen, I could have gone on a honeymoon in 2019, and I would have been even worse off than I was financially because I would have done that. I think it would have been a really dumb thing to do, quite frankly. Because at that point, I was on my last legs, financially. I was in insane amounts of debt. I couldn't pay my taxes. I couldn't pay my bills. I was back-ended on everything. Late fees out the ass. Interest rates up the butt. A lot has changed since then, right? A ton has changed since then. I'm now financially stable. I'm doing much better right here with my business as well as behind the scenes financially with all my responsibilities. Things are healing, as they say. Thing is, it takes a while. I declared bankruptcy, and it takes many, many years to get that off of your record. I'm still not. I'm about halfway there, actually. And if I maintain the course of what I'm doing, things will bounce back, So eventually, could I go on a honeymoon? Yes, I could. Absolutely, I could. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't know what you're getting at. Saying that I didn't go on a honeymoon for 26 years when I've only been married for 6 years is a little silly, don't you think? Anyway. So, thanks for the tip. I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds like you're high. Here. Cool. I swear some people are really ridiculous. So this person tips $1. Listen to this question. You're criticizing Microsoft for buying game studios and closing them. Why did you buy a condo in Connecticut just to end up abandoning it and having it be foreclosed on? Because that was a completely different part of my life. That was before I was a YouTuber. That was before I moved across the country. That was before my aunt got ill. There's a million factors. That's insane. It's not even close to a similar comparison, right? When I bought the condo, I had this office job, and I actually bought a condo in Connecticut to be close to the job and commute back and forth, really short commute. Literally, that's the reason I bought it. And then what happened was that job laid me off. I became a YouTuber. I was a YouTuber for many years. I moved across the country. My aunt moved into the condo in Connecticut. The point was that she was going to live there for a long time, but then she got very ill and had to go into hospice care. And then eventually she passed away. So I didn't have anyone else to take over for the apartment. I looked into ways to try to rent it out. I couldn't find any company. No company would touch the place because they said that is in a high risk area. Renters in that area tend to not be reliable, and therefore we don't even want to handle it. We don't want to even rent it for you. No one would do it. So I ended up just having it sit there, and eventually I went into bankruptcy, and I actually had to surrender that condo as a part of the proceedings, and it ended up being foreclosed upon by the mortgage holder. That has nothing to do with me buying up a bunch of game companies and then immediately 2 years later laying everybody off. Not even close. But thanks for the $1 tip. Very bizarre.